Last night was one of the craziest nights in the NBA. Finished off with possibly the most surprising NBA twist of all time and a new second highest score in league history. And you are listening to the Daily Basketball Recap. And today is going to be more than 15 minutes because there's just a lot of news to cover, is the truth. Starting off, the beauty of the randomness of Bam Adebayo topping Kobe Bryant's high score in a game. Jason, I want to get your thoughts as a diehard Kobe fan. I want to know how you feel about the fact that probably the most deserving player in the NBA now holds the high score record above Kobe Bryant for second all time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what was really funny is waking up last night at, whatever hour it was, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning from the siren, and half my notifications being about the siren, and the other half being Bam Adebayo, 40 points, 50 points, 60. Like, what is going on? To, catching up on that news. A lot of thoughts. Very, very out of nowhere. That Bam was the guy to break the record. Really funny that the two clips going viral are Khalil Ware naming his top 4 NBA players all time and Bam's number 1, which was
We
a crazy bit.
we just talked about this also with Shlomo.
It's such
Do
a
you know
good bit.
do you know when that was from?
It was no. It was I remember
July
watching it
2024.
really wow because I remember watching it for a
Yeah,
while. It was when he was getting drafted. That's
right.
crazy.
Nuts. Okay, yeah, sorry. The other piece.
And the other clip, is the House of Pilots has been doing their Undisputed channel, like where they're like having like different people debate different NBA topics.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had like the guy, like one Kobe Bryant fan versus the 20 haters, and one of his points was no one will ever break Kobe Bryant's 81 point record. And it was like 2 weeks ago, which is so funny. And there was one of the haters was like, it's gonna be broken this season. And then like he listed, it could be Luka, it could be Spida, it could be, he's like listing everyone it could be, and like obviously Bam Adebayo is not on the list. Uh,
Yep.
I think I think there's something really special that it was someone like Bam, like a tier 2 or 3 star, as opposed to a tier 1 player, which like says something a lot for the rest of the league. I have a lot of problems with the way it was done. I like. Do you know how many free throw attempts Kobe took in his 81-point game? Do you know the stat?
I don't know if I know this stat. I know how many Wilt took. I don't know how many Kobe took.
He took 20. Kobe took Kobe took
Respectable.
20. That's
Ethical.
less than
Ethical.
half, which is like I think it's just like, look, we're gonna give Bam his props. I think like it was a really impressive first quarter. I think the first quarter was amazing. I think the second quarter, again, he kind of chilled out a little bit. By the second half, it was just very clear that everyone in the stadium, from like Spo, Bam, Asia Wilson to the refs, wanted to see how far Bam could go that night. And like that whole charging foul situation, going for 40 plus shots from the line, I'm just like you're it's just like it didn't feel real because you're playing against the Wizards. And like I think what Will Riley was the best player on the Wizards side. Like it's just you didn't need that. Like you didn't need him to break the record. Like if Bam had a 60-point game, it would have been awesome, right? If he had a 70-point game, would have been awesome. One of the 16 players ever to have 70 points in a game. Like, but they're up against like it felt unnecessary to like have him go off in that way. I just didn't like it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I'm happy for Bam. I'm happy that it was someone like him that got it. Bam's one of my favorite players. I just didn't like how it was done.
He was not triple teamed until he was at 76 and 77 points. He wasn't doubled until the fourth. He wasn't triple teamed until then.
It's the perspective of like, I don't think teams like the Wizards, like now that we're living in the Tankathon 100, like I don't think they mind losing. I think they just didn't want to be on the receiving end of him breaking Kobe's record. Like I don't think they cared when he got 70. Like my take, I watched part of the game, like the end. I watched the fourth quarter like in depth, like a few hours ago, and like it just seemed like they were like, okay, like Bam's gonna have a 70 piece. Like he's not the only one. We know we're a bad team, that's fine. But I think like once they were like, oh no, he's gonna have the second highest scoring game of all time, probably the highest scoring game of all time. Wilt Chamberlain existed. Like it just I guess then at that point they were like, we're not gonna like Alex Sarr is not gonna be the defender who had 83 points scored on. Like, hey, like you should have started guarding him maybe when he had a 40 plus points first quarter, like for first half. Like,
Right. It's mind bending that it was Bam. It's mind bending that Eric Spoelstra let this happen because he's
yeah,
like the
it's
big
also
guy
funny.
about like discipline in play, you know, like Norm Powell or Tyler Hero, right? Like they're guys who can get hot. Bam like was hot in the first quarter for sure. Then like he literally wasn't able to jump in the fourth quarter because of how destroyed his legs were. Like I bet you that he's probably gonna like have to rest the next game. Um, and I'm just never in a million years would I've ever like, and I feel like this is like everybody's disappointed by this, but also like it's just everyone's still trying to process what happened because it's just like what?
Yeah,
Like what are you talking about? Like I'm gonna read you for a second. Okay, what happened last night? All right, and in terms of across the NBA, what happened in some of the most shocking games? Okay, the Bam thing happened. All right, I meaning I also by the way I don't know in my heart if I want them to like allow this to be recorded as a real score. Like it's just like stop it. Like I feel like it makes Kobe's thing mean less. Like Wilt, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just not okay. Victor Wembanyama had 39 points on 77% true shooting, 11 rebounds, and 3 steals and 3 blocks in their win against Boston. Okay, two playoff bound teams faced off. They cut away from the Spurs Boston game last night to show people Bam running people over and hitting 83 points. All right. It was a close game. Luka and Reaves had 62 points, sorry, on 61% true shooting, 19 assists, and 18 rebounds. Okay. Cameron Payne had 32 points. He was 127% true shooting, 10, whatever. Who cares about that? 5 steals plus blocks. Okay. And the win. Ron Harper Jr., this was a fun one that they threw in. This is Basketball University. 22 points, 100% true shooting, 3 rebounds in their loss to the Spurs. That one is like, in terms of betting, that's kind of I guess it was also from Kalshi. They subtweeted Kalshi. That's fun. Um
forget Ron Harper Jr. is one of us, at least one of me.
he's Jewish?
No, he's Scarlet Knight.
Oh, well.
I think we actually
Anyways,
enrolled in the same class. Fun fact.
and then what are you doing not in the NBA, Jason? Shame. Shame on you.
But no, yeah, that was. I declared too late. Whatever. It's a long story.
I the only other player, the highest amount of shots taken by another player was Davion Mitchell with 9. Okay, on this Heat team. I don't know what to make of it. This is the lowest percentage high scoring game out of all like the 70s, like the top 10 in high scoring in NBA history. This is the lowest percentage game and it's the second all time.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Like I don't know. I don't think this means anything, which isn't insane because
Right.
like it's like they're not going to go win the finals now. No one's like paying Bam more money than he was getting paid before. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just confused. I'm confused by it.
Yeah. It's many thoughts, right? Many thoughts. I think that two things. One, in response to your like Bam, how it's going to affect his legacy. I don't actually think, like, you're right. I don't think it's going to be that insane. Like, when you think about, like, who are the guys in the pantheon of, like, the most points scored in the game, right? We have Wilt, we have Kobe. But, like, also David Thompson. Like, David Thompson has, what, a 73-point game? I don't think, if I listed you my top 50 players of all time, I don't think I'd get to David Thompson. Like, he was a wonderful player for Denver. He's an icon in for that franchise. But like, okay, I think Bam, it's really awesome. I think he's just going to be another David Thompson on this list of just like a really splendid player who had a
But
fantastic night.
I think we've seen a lot of players through all levels of stardom that have scored 70 points at this point, especially like in this modern era, you know? David
Right.
Thompson doing it, I think back then is something to talk about, but he's just not listed on those highest score sheets. So if the argument is that moving forward we'll have more people scoring 80 points in a game, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like a little bit of a shame to me that Kobe Bryant's name will be like diluted in nonsense like this. But
Yeah.
that being said, like, because also when Kobe did it, like, his team needed it. Like, it was a close game, you know? Like, this was not that. This was they were destroying the
Right.
Wizards.
Right. It's also
Um,
it's like it also this there's a lot this season. There's a lot going on in the NBA in terms of NBA history. And I mean that in terms of like, there's a lot of conversations about the 65 game rule that's going to really impact stats and history and what players are known for. And like, like Nick Wright had a great line. Like, your grandchildren are going to ask you, what happened to Nikola Jokic? He had three MVPs, and then for 2, 3 years in a row, he fell off. What happened? She's like, no, no, no. He led the league in assists and rebounds and averaged a triple double, but he missed 17 games.
not 2
That
years
is
in a
just
row. Last year he just lost it.
No, no, I'm saying if he had three MVPs last
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
he wasn't MVP. Let's say this year again, he's not MVP because he's going to miss another game. Like, so we're just going to say like, oh, he
But
fell out. He just had a bad 2 years. Well,
but
he's having an MVP year right now. He's just going to miss
I
too
think
many
it's not
games.
I don't think it's a fair take because, to be honest with you, I think that even without the missed games, I don't think that he's the MVP right now. Where,
Okay,
like, meaning
I'm saying I'm saying that's a very different. That's
but
like
but
that's the
but
MVP debate. But just in terms of like how the 65 game rules will be impacting how we like how
right, 100%.
legacies work in
Right,
terms
right,
of the NBA,
right.
and I think in the same conversation, I think officiating is having the same impact on how legacies
Yeah.
are. And LeBron and Nash actually on the last episode of Mind the Game that came out this week, crazy enough, they did a whole assessment on how reffing has changed in recent history. And I think like Kobe's 80-point game will be filtered out if you're going to have players like Bam Adebayo being sent to the line for 40 plus free throw attempts. Like Kobe had 20 and he's Kobe, which means he was going for the basket, hard nose down every single shot. And he was sent to the line 20 times. Bam was sent to the line for 40 plus that's my name right there. Jason 43 free throw attempts right here. Like it's gonna change the league. Like if we have
Tell me
like
tell me tell me that a nickname though for Bam. Like, if you saw Bam and you're like, "Hey, 83, what's going on?" That's pretty hard. That's pretty tough. Come on.
you know what? If that's what he's gonna be remembered by, that first of all, Bam's also a great name in his own. But
I know, right? Yeah, yeah.
it's just like I don't know. I'm getting very frustrated. Like you're talking about the other games throughout the night. Like also why they cut away from Spurs Celtics because the MVP for the Celtics right now was kicked out of the game because a ref let Stephon Castle throw him into the first row of the stands, and then Brown was like, "What the heck's wrong with you?" Like
You know
this.
what? But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. We can transition into the next game because the truth is that outside of Bam scoring 83, literally nothing important about this game. Actually, no. Aside from the fact that
Um,
Alex Sarr was killing it
Alex, sorry.
in 20 minutes. Okay, and I think that this is like, to me, in my memory, this will always be what it is. It was like when I was watching the box score, like I was looked at it during the half. Okay, I was like up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I looked at it during the half. Okay, I was like, he at that point had scored 26, had 6 rebounds already in two blocks. He played a few more minutes, I think, after the half, something like that. He ended up with 28 here. 12 of 19 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3. He was killing it. He was like, it wasn't banned for ban with Bam, but like he was doing pretty well, and no one's gonna remember that from this game. It's hilarious.
No, I do think one that would be helpful just on the topic of Alex Sarr is I think he has a lot of potential, but I think being in like I think if Sarr had a little more mentorship and it was a little more put together in his approach to the league, Bam wouldn't have had the first quarter that he did. And I think either getting Sarr into a better franchise or maybe the Wizards sign a kind of like a veteran big to mentor him, I think might be helpful. Because
Anthony Davis,
no, no, someone that plays basketball.
someone also that
Um,
wants to be on the court with him.
right, right, right. I'm thinking someone like Udonis Haslem, like someone that'll like be helpful. Um, but yeah, like
You don't
it
think D'Angelo
was
Russell is helpful to him at all?
yeah. I'll teach him how to block, rebound, ice in his veins.
I think if they signed DeAndre Jordan, that'd be really helpful to him. I think
Yeah,
actually,
I think DJ is a
I
good
don't know.
example.
I think DeAndre Jordan, though, I've seen it in enough situations that I'm like, okay, maybe get a guy like, I
You know who Sar really needs to model his game after, and I think he's not going to mentor him, but I think
think you're gonna, I
Sar.
think you're, yeah, I think you're gonna
What are
say
you going to say?
who I was about to say, Ibaka.
No, I was going to say Amari.
That's fair, also. I think
I
right.
think
I
Sar
think he
could
has
be
a
Amari.
natural sense. He has a natural sense for the defense. I think for the offense, the consistency, like he just needs someone to help him define the moves better. Honestly, because his defense is really good. I'm impressed with him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
okay, to transition into the Spurs Celtics game, as you mentioned, uh, before the half, right? It was before the half.
Yeah, it was like beginning of the third, second, I think.
Jalen Green gets absolutely tossed out of this game. Jalen Brown. I literally always do this. I'm not kidding.
Green,
I
yeah,
always
yeah,
because he's right. He's wearing green.
yeah,
Derek White played very well for them in this game. This is the thing that I mentioned a couple days ago when Tatum came back, that he's gonna have better percentages because him and Tatum are like two peas in a pod. He finds him every single time on the open look. He had 34, 5, and 7 on 11 of 22 shooting, 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Jason Tatum had 24, 5, and 2 with 2 steals, 10 of 24 shooting, 4 of 14. He realized that 3-point ball. It's going to start falling a little better. We saw this also. He's a little bit streaky as far as his 3-point shooting. This this Celtics team really put up a fight against the Spurs, who I was asking a couple nights ago if they're maybe the team to beat now after the Thunder beat Jokic and the Nuggets in that amazing game 2 nights ago. I think that still the Thunder are definitely the favorites, but the Spurs they're 2 games separated, I think, at this point. De'Aaron Fox backed him up with the 25 points, but as you mentioned, the Stefan Castle physical defense was a main proponent of Jaylen Brown getting absolutely. He just let it get under his skin, and then he tweeted about it before, like during halftime. Um, I hear what you're saying as far as the officiating interfering. Um, my only position is there are certain things that I expect out of a star player that differentiates you and your ability to be a star player for me in the league. Okay, there are certain people who never understood this. That's why Rasheed Wallace, I think his celebrity was more affected than like he was a really good player in his time when he was able to play and not get into it with refs. Draymond Green, for example, I think is damaged because of this. As a professional, especially a Joe Mazzulla, coach player, you can't get into the ref's face like that. You know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly what's going to happen.
yeah.
In a game like this where you're showcasing how good your team is for Jaylen Brown, you gotta, like, you're trying to prove to Tatum that this is still your team. I said this to Shalom on our other podcast. If he was the one who dropped 83 points, I think that would have been so cool. Like, you got to know your role, like you're coming back to my team. I
Yeah.
think that would have been awesome, and the team would have let him do that because everyone's trying to like pay into Jaylen Brown's ego. I just feel like, and you can disagree with me, but I just feel like you can't be doing this. You can't take on the Draymond Green role of getting yourself kicked out because you're upset about something as silly as this.
I agree with you from the sense that cooler heads will always prevail. I think that if you go ahead back and watch the broadcast, it cuts to Missoula's face at some point during the whole ordeal, and even he is having an emotional, like he looks pissed,
He's
and
upset.
like
Yeah.
Joe, but like more than like Joe Mazzulla is the guy that like you watch like you go and watch other clips of his players being ejected or fouls not being called. Like he looks like he's Joe Mazzulla.
No,
He doesn't
he
react. But like this
he
shit
yells
was
at the
like the
refs.
most he emoted. No, but this was
Right.
like the most he emoted, and you can like tell he's like, this is. It's also because like there is this narrative that like the NBA is propping up Wemby and like wants them to win, and like there is this narrative of like Wemby
It's not
gets a
a
lot of the calls that
narrative.
LeBron got in
It's not a
2005.
it's not a narrative. It's a reality. Like, listen, I think that Victor Wembanyama is very, very talented. Don't get me wrong. I think that he's just as rated as he's supposed to be. The amount that they lean into how good he is also really cringy. Like, enough with the drum shtick. Enough with the Wemby quotes about, oh, Denny, I don't know much about him. I shoot less free throws than he does. Enough. It's petty. Like I would think that he's so much cooler if he's able to you know, like Tim Duncan never did any of that crap. He
Yeah,
was just very like water off my back.
and you know why I think Wemby's doing that is because I think he's coming into a league where the two best players have no personality, and he sees a gaping hole. And there's a reason Tim Duncan was never the face of the league, right? Because no one was entertained by Tim Duncan, even though he got his 5-3. Like Shea and Jokic don't do anything in terms of stardom and celebrity, like except for how Shea dresses. Like I think Wemby sees that hole of like, who's that personality that's going to come in, and he sees what the media is doing. You know, Chris Broussard the other day saying that Wemby's already the best player in the league, which is a crazy take. It's he hasn't scored a point in the playoffs, but
I
he's
understand that. I know.
Wemby's just as good of a playoff player as you and I. Like,
Yeah, playoffs, but at the same time, like I was actually thinking about this also. To be clear, um, with a lot of players, with a lot of young players, right? We see them in playoff situations, and I think that we excuse it. It didn't always used to be like that. Like Michael Jordan used to prefer he lost because he didn't have the experience of like what it felt like to have all the pressure, whatever. Wemby's had the pressure before, and like Wemby is delivering now. He delivered as soon as he came into the league. I think that's Cooper Flag and Con Knipple like are not just good players; they are top 100 right now. And we see this every
okay,
single year. These rookies are coming in more and more, you know, not just prepared but ready to deliver, including Stefan Castle in that piece. And I just feel like it wouldn't surprise me, like right, like the Rockets last year. It's because we saw through who they were as a team. We saw through their record, so everyone was like, "Yeah, the Warriors probably will win." You know, it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was because they were inexperienced. I think it was because well, Jaylen Green is not as is not as tenured of a player, so he won't have the experience. You know what I'm saying? Like he won't have the consistency. I just feel like with Wemby, if they go into the play, if this Spurs team goes into the playoffs and they're playing hard and they play like they're playing in the regular season, obviously everything is affected. Like the Thunder's shooting last year was really great until they came to the playoffs, and the 3-point shooting really fell off a cliff. Like it's normal. You get pressure tested. I think that if they're playing to 75% of what they've been playing like this year, I wouldn't be surprised. They're really like they've been well tested throughout this whole entire process, and they're players who just want to play. They don't really care about pressure, no pressure. I don't know. Like I hear the argument, but I just feel like I think that they're special. I think they're really special. I mentioned, yeah,
I was just I think Wemby's young. He's very young. I think the big difference between Wemby today and Jordan in the 80s is because players come in today with because of technology and social media, and like they come in better prepared for the league, and they come in much better known than players who come in the 80s. But you have to keep in mind, like at the current game count in Wemby's career, right? Like you know who else at this point in their career was looked at as like the next GOAT, looked at could have endless championships, looked like you know who I'm gonna say. Like Colin Cowherd called him, said, "Don't worry, LeBron. Don't worry, LeBron. We got Ben Simmons." I'm saying like we were people were saying this about Ben Simmons, and yeah, look what happened. Like
but
someone
it's
comes in with a very unique skill set. No, Ben Simmons came in this. Wemby's significantly better. Don't get me wrong, but Ben Simmons came in with a very unique skill set. He was doing things that only LeBron could do. But we have no idea what's going to happen when players hit the big stage and are playing the same team. Like, has Wemby played a coach like like Spoelstra or Dagnall in a 7-game series? Like, he doesn't know what they're going to throw at him. Maybe they'll just like maybe they'll play Hack a Wemby. Like, there are so many things that
and
game.
he'll hit the shots. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? Like
also,
I
or
just feel like
but it also like, but the reverse sometimes happens too when you play hack a Shaq. Like like the negative effect also of hack a Shaq was he'd miss his free throws and he also would also end up fouling, and then he'd end up with like 4 or 5 fouls by the fourth quarter.
but I feel like what's interesting about this is we've seen like the Ben Simmons example is a very good example. It's a like right even as far as defensive player of the year, everybody was talking about his all NBA defensive prowess at his early point in his career. Right, he was such a prominent facilitator for his team as well. I think with Wemby, he's such an all around raw yet skilled talent that I just feel like I've seen him in games before when his shot isn't falling, say, okay, you know what? So I'm going to pass the ball out to other guys who are going to hit shots. I'm still going to use my gravity, but now I'm going to help more so on the defensive side. Like he just has a different IQ at such a young age that I'm really not worried about. And this is coming from a Thunder fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, when I watch him play Chet, okay, he Chet doesn't always know how to adjust well. Wemby always knows how to adjust well to Chet and really just destroys him, including also the times that he plays against Durant, right? Like the first time I played against Durant, like in the season, Durant did a really good job of defense on him and playing offense. This last game that they played, Wemby like knew how to take the physicality much better. He really like approached it in a different way. I just feel like he's very capable he's a student of the game. He's really, really capable of doing that. And I'm not trying to like glaze Wemby or anything here. I just feel like for my own fandom of the Thunder, I'm not going to be disappointed if I see that the Spurs are also doing well in the playoffs, because I think that they're just so capable of it.
Yeah, I think, and again, not to just drill this point home. I think that people need to slow down on their horses a little bit. I'm going to read you a stat line right now: 34 points, 12 assists, 12 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks. That was Ben Simmons against the Brooklyn Nets on January 20th, 2020. Like, I'm looking at his top 20 games right now. He looked like Wemby. Like, that's a crazy stat line. Next game he had 4 steals. Next game he had 8 assists and 10 rebounds. The next game he had 13 assists, 15 rebounds,
But he still couldn't
seven
shoot, though.
stocks. Like, it
But he
was
still couldn't
he's a
shoot.
different player.
But I'm saying, but not being able to shoot
In this
is
game
more of a
he was field goal percentage was 65% this game.
yeah. But I'm saying, but in terms of him, the reason why that doesn't work is because in today's NBA, right? We see it all the time with like that's why Trey Jones was not long for San Antonio, is because he wasn't particularly shooting well. The same thing with Tyus Jones, by the way, with the Magic. They weren't shooting well. As a facilitating point guard that can't draw out the other team's defense because they're just going to play back on you because they know they're not going to be able to hit a shot. And that was the progression of the downfall of Ben Simmons. He has all the space in the world to operate up front, and everybody's crowded in the middle. With Wemby, you can't do that. It's just from a practical standpoint in the modern NBA, Wemby is able to do so much more than Ben Simmons was able to do. And I hear it in
Again,
terms
I'm
of,
not the argument I'm making is not that Ben even remotely compares to Wemby. It's that the aura around
expectation.
Ben and expectation is similar, and we've already been messed over once. Let's roll. Let's slow our horses before we start handing out titles too quickly.
I hear it. I hear it. Um, I hear it. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Next, Tyrese Maxey is out for the next 3 weeks. They found a further sprain in his hand. I think his left hand, right? It's not his shooting hand.
Non-shooter.
That was announced by Shams yesterday. So as a result, or 2 days ago, no, yesterday, because 2 days ago was just he was going to be out 2 games. As a result, the 76ers are really, really unfortunately very injured. And guess what? Guess who has their first pick? The Thunder.
Was the Sixers first? How did the Thunder have the Sixers first? What?
I don't even remember at this point.
How did the Thunders have the? How many picks do the Thunder have in the first round this year?
75, I think.
They have theirs. They have the Clippers. They have the Sixers. 1 second. What? Go away.
Okay, as you do that, that's what I think there's certain conditions on it, but anyways, I don't think they're gonna fall that far.
Four. They have 4 first round.
And by the way, this draft is like supposedly really, really good.
Imagine they end up with AJ Demancin, Darren Pierce, and Cameron Boozer. They just get everyone.
No, but the Sixers aren't falling that far right now.
I know. It's just the Clippers are. So.
No, aren't the Clippers 500 now? Anyways, that resulted in Kelly Oubre scoring 30 points for them. Very, very nice game for Kelly Oubre. 12 rebounds, 2 steals. Quentin Grimes had 23, 3, 2, and 2. They played against the Grizzlies. VJ Edgecombe, by the way, also started at guard for them, 21, 5, and 5 for him. I love VJ Edgecombe when he's able to go out there and be like the main scoring option. It's so much fun to me. He's so, so good. And he's like, I wouldn't, if you told me out of all people who are in this draft, he end up having the best career, like, I think it definitely would be like debatable, but like it wouldn't be such a crazy outcome for me. Ty Jerome, 26 points. Cedric Coward, 13 and 16. Like, this Grizzlies team is a mess, and they play everybody, and they play well for the most part, as well as they can. But they're clearly tanking at this point in my eyes, and they have various people out with illness. They do the same thing as the Jazz, but this was a game that the Sixers really had to win to keep those hopes high at this point.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies don't make sense. They're currently entering in the Chicago Bulls world of purgatory, where they have nothing good now and they have nothing good coming. Maybe Ty Jerome and Gigi Jackson and Jeremiah Mashak are going to turn into something special, but they had a core and then they got rid of Brooks and Bain and Triple J, and Aldama hasn't played a game this year. Like, I mean, he's played, but not legit. It's just they're in a weird purgatory place. Um, Yeah. Shout out to campaign and taking advantage of the situation. I think I know we're not a fantasy podcast, but I'm seeing a lot of rhetoric online. No one needs to go pick up campaign. He's been in the league for 11 years, and this was his best game. This was his first time scoring over 30, or yeah, this was his first time scoring over 30 points, and he was drafted when I was in high school. Everyone, relax. Do not be picking up campaign. Do not be freaking out about campaign. He had a fantastic game. But you know who else had a fantastic game? Bam Adebayo, and he's not scoring 83 points tomorrow again.
Do you know that Bam? This is the crazy thing. Do you know that Bam? He's not even the highest scorer on his team right now on average. Okay, that's obvious between Hero and Powell. Do you know that on his career he averages 16 points?
It's so funny.
Like I'm serious. Like there's a whole bit that Bill Simmons did about he wouldn't be in the first 50 people. I told you I don't think I would guess him in the first 100 people.
Well, I did that.
I Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think not to get too back into the damn conversation, but earlier today I did this experiment where I went into a bunch of AIs like ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever. I said list the potential 50 players that could break Kobe's scoring record this season. None of them said that.
Yeah. I really don't think that I would have ever gotten there. I just, it's just I don't think that I don't think there's a single other person. I mean, I'm sure that there is, but in terms of like just thinking about like, I just feel like the sheer response that him scoring 83 points got, everyone was just like, you know, like
Do you
people
know
were
who
just,
he
and
was
if you,
talking?
Khalil, where
Hello, where?
I said to Shlomo today, if Eric Spoelstra after that doesn't give Khalil Ware more minutes, or at least offers him a assistant coaching job, if he's not going to play him the minutes, come on, he in 2014, you know that. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say about Bam. Do you know that the last time that Bam scored his high score of 41, which he did one other time, 41? Okay, do you know when that was?
Damage 41 points. Probably in the bubble.
I want to make sure I have this right. It was in 20, so this decade. Okay, 21. You're right, in the bubble, 2021. He has not scored over, I think aside from that, his highest was 34. Okay? He has not scored 40 points for the last 5 years.
Sure.
That's not normal. That's just not normal. That this like if it was Rudy Gobert, people would have a better time with it, you know?
Yeah, because also Rudy Gobert could just stand there and dunk it. Bam is the height of a power forward playing center.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
All right,
Anyways,
yeah.
yeah, we've exhausted the topic for sure. Okay, let's move because otherwise we're never gonna finish this.
Yeah, but also not
Um,
well, we can skim through the rest of the game.
Also, by the way, my one note about the Grizzlies is Cam Spencer, I think deserves a starting spot, a chance at a starting spot somewhere. I don't know where. It doesn't have to be the Grizzlies. It could be somewhere else. But I just like send him to the Timberwolves. Honestly, he just makes the right play. He's got good IQ. I like him. Not just because he's a white guy. I just like him. Okay, the Hawks beat the Mavs 124 to 112. Cooper Flag played in this game 14, 12, and 5 for him. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 29 in addition to Jalen Johnson's 27. And this is the Hawks' 7th in a row. Very nice.
Yeah, good job, Hawks.
Good
You
job, Hawks.
you you're playing well. You are going to have a great time in the play-in, and you're going to lose to the Heat in the play-in, while the Bulls somehow also are in the play-in again, and it's going to be deja vu for the third year in a row. And you're going to end up playing Boston in round one and losing four. Like, beautiful, beautiful
Okay,
game.
can I just because you mentioned the Heat again and it piqued my interest, I was like, can I ask you one more question about the Heat?
Please,
Do you
please.
think that it's more likely that Bam Adebayo does not average 20 points, over 20 points, another season in his career, or that he'll score 40 points again? Which one is more likely?
More likely that he will continue to average 19 PPG. Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, Spo doesn't play the offense through him. Like, there's a
but he
reason.
has been
But
this season. If you look at the stats this season, he's taking more shots because Spoelstra's like shoot the ball.
yeah,
Everybody
but
on this
he
team is encouraged.
Yeah, but no, they run plays through Powell. They give Powell the ball to score.
Yeah, but he's not. He's missed a lot of games at this point.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's like the coaching plan. But yeah, no, I don't think Bam's getting another 40 plus point per game. Also because he's getting older and it's like
He's 29.
yeah, he's hitting his 30s.
I know 30s, the 20. Usually, I feel like 27 to like 32 is like your prime in basketball.
Yeah, I mean for bigs it's usually a little younger, but I guess no one knows what's gonna happen now with all the new technology. Whatever. Yeah,
Well, he's only 6'9", so he's not a 7-footer. Maybe his back is a little better than if he was.
that's true. Honestly, that's true. I don't think Wemby's gonna have a long career. I really don't.
That's another thing. I don't know. That discussion is too depressing for me to think about, honestly. Okay, the Detroit Pistons. This game we're really not going to spend a lot of time on. 138 versus the Nets 100. The Brooklyn Nets are doing their best to put out a playable team, but unfortunately, their JV of players is coming up short in the last few games. But I just I like the Pistons, despite them having all these recent losses and whatever. I like them. I really like them.
Yeah, it's I think one issue that's starting to come up for the Pistons is I don't think they played enough of their depth, and I think that's coming to bite them in the butt. They don't run a Tibbs offense, but they until recently really didn't play their bench, and that is coming back to be a problem. Like Dennis Jenkins, if they had continued to play through him back when he was having his hot streak, maybe he would have developed a little bit this season and not be in the same place he was 2 months ago. Ron Holland shooting 5 for 13 because he's not being given the ball, and there have been a lot of opportunities for them to develop these players, and instead they just didn't. And they're winning, so obviously they know what they're doing. But again, we're thinking about the playoffs now. We're very close to that 82 game mark, and you can't play 5 players for a full 48 in the playoffs. And Marcus Sasser and Paul Reed and Ron Holland and Dennis Jenkins have not developed into players that can sustain you in the playoffs. And I
You're
think
right.
that's going to be
And
a
I also
problem when they go against the Celtics.
I also, by the way, this is a thing that I mentioned a couple times at this point, but I think that if Asar Thompson is out for a majority of the rest of the season, at the very least, if it's into the playoffs as well, I find it really, really hard to replace what he adds to this team defensively, and also like doesn't take away offensively. Um, I really think that he'll be a big piece of if they are able to be successful in the playoffs or not, and I'm worried for their sake if he's not around until then. Okay, next the Suns played the Bucks and won 129 to 114. Giannis did play in this game, but the Bucks were white hot in terms of their scoring. Booker had 27. Jaylen Green had 25. He had a crazy crossover. Then he pointed to the guy on the court, falling over, and then hit the shot. It was very risky because if he missed that, it would have been on everybody's highlight reel. Royce O'Neal also contributed 21 points. And across the board, two other people in double figures, but a very nice win for them. I think that they've gotten a little bit of the wind in their sails back since losing Dylan Brooks, which I think took them out a little bit. Um, Kyle Kuzma, 33 points in his big return. Um, nice, Miles Turner also. Their 3-point shooting was also pretty extensive in this game, but alas, this Bucks team is bad. They're just not a good team. They're not a good team.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I have a few highlights and thoughts from this game that I think are just going to blow people's mind if they didn't think about this. Do you know who was starting a shooting guard for the Milwaukee Bucks last night?
Please enlighten us.
Ujman Yang. Do you know what
We're
position Ujman Yang plays?
center. We're gonna disagree about this.
You think Ujman Yang should be no. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but do you think he should be the starting shooting guard for a team? Would you play
No,
Shaquille O'Neal at
probably
your
not.
2 if you put together your all-time roster?
Probably not. Probably wouldn't do
Right.
it.
So while we're just analyzing what the Bucks are doing wrong, and one of the things is hiring Doc Rivers, starting Ujman Dieng at your starting shooting guard is one of the craziest things I've seen. Second craziest thing being that Torian Prince played almost 20 minutes in an NBA game in the year 2026.
Yeah, yeah. He's a bad coach, huh? I don't know.
So I don't understand like hiring Doc Rivers because of the 2008 championship would be like putting Bam Adebayo in an all-time scoring competition because he scored 83 points once.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't. Like, why even get Cam Thomas? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, AJ Green and Cam Thomas played 15 minutes respectively and had
I
more
don't get it.
points than Torian Prince, who played 18.
I don't
More
get. I
points
just
than
don't get it.
Pete Nance.
This poor this. I just feel bad for Giannis, man. I feel bad for Giannis, and I feel
Yeah,
bad for the Bucks in a couple months from now. Like I know that they're gonna fumble this return also that they get for Giannis, so it's just upsetting.
for sure.
At least he won them a
Yeah.
championship.
Also on the other side of the coin though, the Suns also they won, but they put out also a crazy roster. Royce O'Neal and Jaylen Green were the forwards who started last night's game. Grayson Allen came off the bench for some reason, which wasn't great for my fantasy team, but also didn't make much sense. He shot pretty well, but Jalen Green and Devin Booker played pretty well off of each other. And next season, if they can get a healthy roster, if they can maybe, I think if they get a good point guard and a good center and run Booker at the two and Green at the three or swap that, it'll be a weird team, but it could be a solid team.
I just feel in my soul that Jordan Ott is an excellent coach, and it's so clear to me more than ever that this Cavs team was good because of Jordan Ott, and it wasn't a Quinn Snyder thing. Despite the fact that like they literally had to bring in the James Harden offensive system in order to compensate for the fact that they lost Jordan Ott. Um, I'm endlessly surprised by this Suns team. In my mind, it's something akin to how the Celtics are performing this year, but I think that obviously the discrepancy between talent is the key there. But very honestly, everyone is able to contribute. Like if you told me that Jordan Goodwin, pre-injury more recently, was going to be one of the main pieces on your team that's playing a bulk of minutes, I wouldn't have told you that would be a good team. And Dylan Brooks is putting up an all-star campaign. Like, come on, what are you talking about? That's crazy.
From prison at that. So,
Okay, next, the Rockets beat the Raptors. Look at that. The Rockets finally win a game again. This team is not for the fear of being attacked by Rockets fans. This Rockets team is no longer good. They're just not. I think the world has been revealed to Alperen Şengün's deficiencies, which there are a plethora of options that you can look at. I'm I'm just so confused as to how Ime Udoka plans to implement this in the playoffs. I don't know what's going to happen. Their offensive
yeah,
rebounding thing is like not it doesn't exist anymore because they don't have the people to do it. And you can keep riding the coattails of Kevin Durant and his effectiveness, but it's only going to go so far. And I'm confused. I'm very confused.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't actually look at this game even remotely today. I just checked how much Jabari scored, and I was like, yes, because he's my guy. Um, but just looking at the stat sheet now, this doesn't like. It's funny because you look at like I'm like looking right now. You see the stat sheet, and I'm like, oh, okay, like cool. Like they beat the Raptors, and it seems like a really mid team. Then you look like they hit 40 wins last night. They are a 40 win team, and we are not even at the 70 win mark. Like that's a pretty legit team. It it doesn't look like a legit team though. Like your best player went 6 for 15. Kevin Durant, it doesn't it just I don't understand. What is this team?
Maybe we're past the point where Kevin Durant should be relied on to be the savior of your franchise. Maybe, and he's very good. Do not get me wrong. Kevin Durant is literally right now, he is a top 7 player in my mind. I don't, I don't think that he should be relied upon to be your lead.
No,
And
and what happened to Amin Thompson? That's also part of the story. Isn't he
he
supposed
just
to be good?
hasn't, he is good. He just hasn't progressed. I think that he's exactly what we thought he was. Like he arrived a year early, you know?
He has
He's
0 steals, 3 rebounds, three
But
turnovers.
that's just the stat side of it. Like when you're watching Amen in this game, he's the Raptors are a physical team. They have a lot of athletic, strong guys. It's a difficult team to play against. And Amen's skill set, he should really take actually a page out of Asar's book. He has to focus a little more. He has to be a little bit more tunnel vision on like being the tasks that he's supposed to do. He focuses more like on the overall. Um, I think especially in terms of the playmaking, he's got to take a page out of Asar's book because Asar has some very underrated scoring, but assist playmaking. I just feel like it's this is not the end result that they wanted, and I well
What were you gonna say?
no, and I just feel like right now, between now and the playoffs, there's no way to fix that system to get to where they want to be, and it's just a year later for Kevin Durant. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like he's going to be a year older next year. I don't know. I don't think it's not a good sign.
I think I know they won and they hit 40 wins, but just looking at this team right now, I think this was the game where we all saw the Rockets have a hard ceiling at maybe round two.
And even if it's round two, I think they're going to be so beat up by that point that like they're just going to get
Yeah.
like they can't play the Timberwolves in a 7-game series. They can't play the Thunder in a 7-game series. They can't play like they would match up against the Warriors in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? And like that's not good. That's not
Yeah.
good.
Also, when you're
Yeah,
just Shangun, you can't have 0 stocks, 4 fouls. What are you doing? 6 for 15, man. That's not what you want to be seeing.
he's really not. He has not progressed the way that he should have progressed, unfortunately. Um, Even at the beginning of the year, he was really good, and at the end of last year, he was really still solid, and he's just kind of fallen off a cliff. RJ Barrett, I want to give a special shout out to because the last few games he's been the focal point of their offense and been really delivering. And it's like he was 25 in this game, 10 of 18 shooting. Nice, 32 minutes. Good stuff from RJ Barrett. He is the highest scoring player in that draft class. In his draft class, he is the highest scoring player. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I remember when people were like mourning in New York City the day that the Pelicans got that first overall pick. They got
It's worked
they
out
got they
okay.
got yeah, they got OG Anunoby out of that.
They got a little bit better. They got to hoping for an Eastern Conference finals win. That's how much farther it got them. Okay, next. Let's do this one quickly. Pacers Kings. Very, very fast. Neesmith had 29 points. On the other side of the ball, Maxime Reyna had another double-double. Very, very nice double-double for him. He's been really killing it in his starting minutes. Russell Westbrook had a near triple-double with 16, 7, and 9. And Devin Carter finally got played some minutes because I guess Doug Christie felt generous. 24 points in 16 minutes. Very nice from him. We know what both these teams are at this point. They're not, they're not going anywhere fast. The Kings, did I mention the score even?
No, it's unnecessary. There's 16 and 15
Kings
wins
won.
respectively.
Kings won. It doesn't make a difference at this point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I would say my takeaways: number one, congratulations to the Pacers. You now can either have AJ Devanza or Darren Peterson. You officially have the worst winning percentage. Um, I think that it's smart for Pascal to be injured right now, and I'm excited to see them next year. And in terms of the Kings, I would love to see some consistency in their lineup so that they can continue to develop players the rest of the season. And I'd love to see a starting lineup that consists of Devin Carter and Maxime Reynaud and Nick Clifford and not Russell Westbrook and Precious Achiuwa because I don't think those two players are going to be part of their building future.
Probably not. You're probably right. Yeah, yeah. That game was entirely unimportant at this point. The Bulls beat the Warriors 130-124. Matas Buzelis, not mentioned that Kalshi sheet, had 41 points, 16 of 28 shooting. Finally, Billy Donovan was like, okay, fine, here, shoot a couple shots. He hit a really, really important three-pointer with 2:20 left in the game. Overtime. And Josh Giddey, really good production out of him as well with 21, 17, and 13 rebounds. The Warriors team had 7 people score in double digits, and it just didn't matter because Trey Jones also came off the bench for the Bulls and scored 22. Leonard Miller, who did not play on the Wolves when he was there, had 17 and 11 for this Bulls team. You remember all those guards that the Bulls had just a month ago?
Heck are they?
They played all together in this game, the Bulls, 8 players. They played 8 players. Who was out? Kawamura was out. McClung was out. I forgot that he was even on this team. Jaden Ivey's out. Noah Essengay obviously out for the season. Zach Collins was out. Williams was out. Colin Sexton was out. Isaac Okoro and Anthony Simons were all out for this team. They played 8 players and managed to win the game. That's, man, the Warriors should be really, they should be embarrassed. They should really, it's terrible. Don't make Steph come back for this.
Yeah, no, I
Let him
I
live.
think they should. I think they should sit Steph the rest of the season. I very much think that this Warriors team is not going anywhere. They need to let Steph chill. They have a lot of moves to make this offseason if they want to allow Steph to compete even remotely the last 2, 3 seasons of his career. Yeah, that's it for the Warriors. Shout out to Pat Spencer. Shout out to Porzingis for having solid games.
Home
I
debut.
like Guy Santos. I don't know who LJ Cryer is, but beautiful job on your 17 points. Um, and yeah, in terms of the Bulls, everything you said is right. It's weird that they have this roster of like 100 guards and none of them played. Shout out to my boy Matas. Crazy stat, Matas Buzelis. You know he has the second most points in his draft class.
In his draft
Crazy.
class.
In his draft class, he has the second most points
Behind Castle.
behind Castle. Yeah,
Klingon doesn't have
it's
more than
weird.
him.
Nope. He's beating Jalen Wells, Alex Lar, Zachary Sachet, Carrington, Filipowski, Keyshawn, Ware, Collier, Klingon. He's beating all of them right now.
All of that makes sense except for Klingon, because Klingon has just played the most games and he's scored at least 10 points in most of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's surprising.
Klingon
That is very
is
surprising to me.
currently, he is currently at number 11.
Really?
He has 1,156 points to Buzelis' 1,700
For this season or in general in their career?
in general, total.
Oh, okay, fine. You know what? Then it makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
because I wasn't thinking about last year. I was thinking about just this year. Okay,
yeah. Klingon didn't
interesting.
play much last year. But yeah, shout out to
Very interesting.
Matas. I love that. I also love that I played in fantasy BAM's GM this week and I had Matas. So kind of worked out a little bit.
Yeah, that's entirely crazy to me. By the way, that he scored. I was looking at that. He's still down like 40 in points or something. No, 20 in points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, next. Second to last game of the night. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're slowly getting there. The
Yeah. We're
Hornets
almost there.
rally 19-point deficit to beat the Trailblazers in a very competitive game. LaMelo had 12 of his 14 in the fourth quarter, so he decided to put on his big boy pants. Brendan Miller had 23, 9 and 4 for him, 7 of 18 shooting. So another not the best shooting night, but still he's scoring. This Hornets team, I think they've like completed the trifecta of like they were in this type of game this season. You know, like this was their big comeback. I don't think they've done anything to this extent over their stretch of winning. In the last, what is this? That in the last 30 games, it's something crazy. It's something crazy. I don't want to misquote this, but um, 1 second. Let me look this up. Is that true? That's not as good as I thought it was.
I don't even know what you're looking up.
Here. Okay, so let's do this. In the last 20 games, the Charlotte Hornets are 15-5. Very nice. Very nice. That's the record of that's the kind of winning that you want to see. That's good.
Yeah. They're a 500 team.
Yeah. Cool progression, because I really at the beginning of the season think that they did not. I think Draymond Green was like, you can't tank this hard. Like at the beginning of the season, he like was like talking about this, like you can't tank this hard. Like teams should be like embarrassed. Dude, they're killing it right now. I'm very impressed with this
They're
team.
really exciting. I would love to see them in a playoff series.
I think similarly, by the way, the Trailblazers, like it's actually a very like appropriate like opponent for them across the conference, because I think that they're very similar in a lot of ways. Jeremy Grant had 24 points, but Denny Avdia in his second game back from injury, 22, 4, and 7. Toumani Camara had 11. He does the little things. He's a good glue guy, but they need more than that from him. There was no. Everybody played.
Everyone was there. Everyone played.
I didn't see that Drew was okay. He was just being Drew. 32 minutes, but he was playing defense. Either way, um, very very fun comeback, and I like this Hornets team, and I want to watch them play in the playoffs. Make it happen. Blazers also. I want to watch both of these teams fight in the play-in. I want to watch it. They're scrappy. They're fun. Yeah.
Welcome back, Denny. And I want to see this consistency from Grant. That's really it. Jeremy Grant should be the number one option on this team in terms of scoring, and want. He can. He can shoot at such a good clip. He really can. He's a really efficient scorer. He's a really good scorer. I think Denny should be doing all the rest of this stuff.
I would challenge him the other way. Jeremy Grant, we know he likes to play offense. We know it. We know he likes to play offense. At a certain point in time, you were an excellent team defender. Give us a little bit more of that, and I think that the Blazers can really be a very good team. Like, I think that they can make it to the play-in and like play a competitive game in the play-in. Like, he's focusing a little bit too much on offense, and I needed a little bit more defense from him. But yeah, very nice. The last game of the night, I want to end off with for you, just for you. I'm gonna let you cook a little bit on this one. Give most of your thoughts. Just recap scoring here. Luka, 31, 7, and 8 on 10 of 20 shooting in 38 minutes. Sorry, that was Reaves. Totally lied to you. That was Reaves. Luka had 31, 11, and 11 with 2 steals and a block. 11 of 24 shooting in 35 minutes. But the shots mattered more than what than the percentage from the box score. DeAndre Ayton finally playing Clint Capella's role effectively, and showing why it's not that hard, and it results in wins. How about no LeBron James? Maybe that's the answer at this point. That when you're trying to play all three of these guys heavy minutes together, it doesn't really look that great, and it gives more opportunity for Reaves to kind of just cook a little bit. I don't have much else to say about this game, so I would like you to please, aside from the fact that Anthony Edwards totally destroyed my team in field goal percentage, and thank God we don't play with 3-point percentage. But yeah, please, by all means, take it away.
Here are my thoughts. I love Luka and AR. I don't understand how, and I've said this at the beginning of the season, I don't understand how this is a sustainable backcourt. But if they are going to shoot 62 points together, they could be my backcourt for the next 10 years. Um, I love that DeAndre Ayton really took really took it to heart that he needs to play. We were able to watch that Knicks game 2 days ago, and he it was a shame because it was Doris Burke making the calls, but she was spot on. Like Aiton is playing like Aiton needs to be playing, and it is beautiful to watch. It's just we're looking good. We're looking really good. I don't understand why Marcus Smart is starting at the three instead of Jake Arabia. JJ Redick change up maybe. I'd love to see Vando getting a little more a few more minutes because I think he is our best defender, and when given the opportunity, in non-playoff games because he can't shoot the ball. He should be on the court a bit more. I love that we just Lakers played defense, and I think part of that is when you're not trying to run plays through a 40-year-old man as much as he is my second favorite player of all time. I believe the greatest player of all time. Like you can really you could run plays on the other side of the ball as well, right? You're very limited in what you could run on the defensive end when LeBron's on the court because you're trying to. He is the best defender in terms of capability, but not in terms of ability anymore. And I think that forcing Ant to go 2 for 15 and 1 for 10, Dante DiVincenzo 3 for 9, Julius Randle 5 for 11. Like this is the worst field goal percentage I've seen in a long time. They're 2 full points behind the Lakers in terms of field goal percentage. They took 13 less shots. This is what we want to see. Like the Lakers can do this. We can play defense. Ayton can play big. It's just a shame we don't see this on a consistent basis. And maybe LeBron should be playing a Bill Russell role. Maybe he should, a player coach kind of situation in tandem with JJ.
Good luck convincing him of that though, because I just feel like someone was like, maybe he really should take a minimum and like go play, like and play for a team so they can get better, and he can also then win another championship, whatever. And I was like, but every time that he signs a contract, he's like, I'm LeBron James. Like, why should I take a pay cut? And you're like, I hear it, I get it,
No, I don't mean he should be. I don't mean he should be like I don't like people that are like, oh, he should just be like an old man on another team, like doing his thing, whatever. Like, no, let him stay. He'll be the starting small forward. Bill Russell in his for his 10th and 11th rings was the coach for the team. He was on the court. He was playing much more of a he was the brain rather than the skill of the team. I'd love to see LeBron do more of that because like the Lakers had 20 points off of turnovers last night compared to the Timberwolves 4. Like we're just we AR and Luka and Aiton, these are scrappy players. And LeBron just can't be there anymore. And I want him to be on the court when we raise the Larry O'Brien in a few months. But I just maybe it should be a Luka and AR being in contention for that finals MVP.
Jason, thank you very much. This has been a very long podcast, which I really appreciate you giving me the time because you're a working man now. You're a working man now. It's a big deal. I want to thank you all for listening and watching. I want to thank you all for watching the whole episode. And I will be seeing you all tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great day. Jason, do you have any final thoughts for these lovely people?
Yeah. Bam. Just take it slow. Take it easy. Take it easy, man. I still got to play the rest of this week.
Everybody should believe that just because they're marginalized and put into B minus tier potential borderline all-star, maybe year to year, don't stop yourself from scoring 83 once in a while, okay? Remember that can happen.
You
It can
just
happen.
wait till next week when someone else is playing in fantasy.
Right now when Jason's playing you. Do you hear that Anthony Black? Don't come back and just score 83 points on Jason, okay? Don't break
It's okay.
Scott Skiles' record.
I don't have to play Tyrese Maxey next week, so I'm good.